I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why I believe I made the right choice with investing in a Sprinter/cargo van. If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, or if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, hey, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Now, I want to just share 5 reasons why I believe that I made the right choice with investing in a Sprinter/cargo van. But before I get into that, I want to explain why I always refer to this Sprinter/cargo van. I know that the common term is cargo van. Okay, I understand that. But when you look for opportunities like gig opportunities and load board opportunities, this is not referred to as a cargo van. It is referred to as a Sprinter van. And just based on sheer dimensions and numbers, this is considered a Sprinter class van based on wheelbase, weight carrying capacity, and just in its build. It's not squatty. It doesn't have a low roof. This is a medium roof, although I could have gotten a higher roof, but I got what I could afford and what best fit what I could afford at the time. And so this being a Ford Transit 250 medium roof van, 148-inch wheelbase, it is a kind to the Mercedes Sprinter van 2500 class, and it's a kind to the Dodge ProMaster Ram van 2500 class. They all have the 1-ton chassis, and obviously the 250 or 2500 class or series that suggests that it is a Sprinter/cargo van. Now, hopefully I hadn't lost you on that, but the reason being, again, is because when you look for load board and gig opportunities, they refer to Sprinter vans, not cargo vans. Today being July 6, 2023, I'm in the midst of what is my second best earnings day in the gig economy, but also my second best earning day as an owner and operator of this van. I am on pace to make somewhere about $645 today. And I'll go quickly into the opportunities. The first one was a courier opportunity that paid $125. I transported a 600-pound skid or longer pallet from Sumter to Orangeburg, South Carolina. It's actually right on the outskirts as you're about to leave Orangeburg, South Carolina, going south. That was about a 1-hour drive, and again I was paid $125. The actual miles were like 59 miles. The next opportunity that I had was also in Orangeburg. It was a freight opportunity in which I delivered gardening supplies in a wheelbarrow to a home that was not far away, about 5 miles away. I made $61.06 on that. So we're talking $12 a mile. So for all you dollars per mile people. So that puts me at $1.86. The next opportunity is the one that I'm on now. I just picked up I just picked up 2,000 pounds worth of paint in 5-gallon containers, and I am transporting to what I would say is parts unknown. It's a rural place about almost an hour from Florence, and as of this documentation, I'm probably about 35 minutes away. This opportunity is going to pay me $225, and it's also on the Curry app. And so, well, the first opportunity, I was wrong. The first opportunity from Sumter to Orangeburg paid 59 miles, and so that was almost $2.50 a mile, more like about $2. It's definitely over $2 a mile. This one is 51 miles, and it's going again to parts unknown, South Carolina. It's paying $225, so we're talking somewhere about $4.50 dollars a mile on this particular opportunity. The last one is a catering opportunity on the dlivrd app, and that one is going to pay $234. Now, if you want to talk dollars per mile, we're probably talking about maybe 2 miles, maybe 2 miles really, and total driving time maybe that time of evening about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I've driven there. I've picked up an opportunity previously. Well, this particular one is going to be a pickup from PDQ, and that's going to be about a 15-minute drive if traffic is where I think it is going to be at that time of evening. And we're probably talking about at most a 5-mile drive. So $1 a mile is going to be some real obscene number, probably at least $40 a mile. And if you just talk about it in terms of time, just something that's really obscene, over $100 an hour, about over $150 an hour. That's how much that translates into. But enough said. And by the way, again, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment, The Gig Geezer, and any other segment, The Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Now, reason number one, earnings capacity. I've said many a times here on the Gig Geezer channel that size equals money. Size equals money, and also size gives you a greater earnings capacity. And that's what a Sprinter/cargo van has afforded me. I have shared on a number of times of late how much I made this time last year as opposed to in 2023, and I am somewhere in between 15 and 20% having earned more in 2023 than in 2022. Some of it could be access to additional apps, but also some of it is a result of my having a greater earnings capacity with a Sprinter/cargo van. The second one, number two, is versatility. It's kind of along the same lines as a greater earnings capacity. But I also just shared in the onset about multiple opportunities today, but different applications. This van is going to be used for catering this evening, okay? And I've handled orders in upwards of over $3,000, multiple orders over $1,000, multiple orders over a couple of grand, but also earnings opportunity since having completed the transaction for this Sprinter/cargo van, multiple earning opportunities over $200 and over $300. And again, this catering opportunity is my 20th $100 or more earnings opportunity, singular earnings opportunity, not in a day. Now, the versatility today is that I handled, again, a 600-pound skid or pallet for my first curry opportunity. This second curry opportunity is 2,000 pounds of paint, over 30 5-gallon containers of paint. The freight opportunity was garden supplies. According to the app, it was 260 pounds worth of items to be transported. A fertilizer, potting soil, and a wheelbarrow. Now, yesterday evening, for example, I delivered medications. I did DoorDash. I did Instacart, in addition to freight and a couple other opportunities. And yesterday I earned $343.90. On Monday of this week, I earned over $400 transporting tires, Home Depot. Actually, it was a mirror from Home Depot, 2 mirrors from Home Depot, and I did some gig food work. In addition to some other opportunities. Some of the stuff escapes my memory, but here's that information on the graphic provided here. So versatility. Number 3, return on investment. This is a big one. Now, my rationale for return on investment is this. Okay, there's the money that you put out initially to start whatever your venture is. Okay, for me, this van cost $35,000 and change. I financed $35,000 and change, but the sticker price was $35,000 and change, and there was additional costs for tax, sales tax, down payment. And also I bought an extended warranty. But then there are the other costs, and this is where the additional monies come in. Property tax for the state of South Carolina, license plate. I've talked about authority. I've talked about putting in e-track system. A lot of things that I've purchased along the way. and help building up this business, and I would consider them a part of my startup costs. In all, I would venture to say that price of the van plus startup costs, I once mentioned that it was like $6,000, but let's say another $7,000. I think that's a mid number. We're talking about somewhere about $42,000 to $43,000 to start out. I have made that money back. Now, what would be nice is if I could say that I have paid off this van, but I'm nowhere near that. But I have made back the initial investment, and that is the beginning of a positive return on investment. Okay, it's not paying off, but again, it's a positive return on investment thus far. The next thing is this van puts me in a position to scale my business, the transport business. The van is not the end all, it's just a starting point. This van has put me in that position. The next thing is that this van, now I mentioned about, it's put me in a position thing. So the next thing that I'm looking to do, the next thing I would like to venture into is the investment into a box truck. I've mentioned this before. Initially, I kind of went back and forth about getting another Sprinter/cargo van, but I think the box truck is what's going to put me in the ballpark. It puts me down there on the playing field. I don't have to worry about the certain limitations that a Sprinter/cargo van seems to present, and that's because of, like, when you work load boards, when you try to look for load boards, it seems like box truck is at the base of what people are looking for, and Sprinter/cargo van, the opportunities, they're there, but they're not there. Case in point, today there was one from Hardyville, which is near the Georgia border off of I-95. It was going outside of Atlanta, and that was a 260-mile trip. The load was 800 pounds. They initially offered $190 for 260 miles. I bid $325, and they said no, but then they turned around and said, oh, flash, we'll offer you $300 if you accept this in the next 10 minutes. Well, that was before I'd accepted that, before I was accepted for this courier opportunity, and so that kind of negated it. But I did call the broker and said, hey, I can pick it up. The actual load was supposed to be picked up today and then dropped off tomorrow. But I said, I will do it if we can agree upon a price. I'll pick it up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and have it outside of Atlanta, the Atlanta drop off by 3 o'clock tomorrow. But they told me, no, it's got to be picked up today. And so I guess we can't do anything. And I was okay. I was okay. But it would have been nice to have picked up that load, probably negotiate for about $350, $375. And that would have been a nice day for me tomorrow. But moving on, next item. In fact, the last one. This one is probably more important to me than anything else, why I believe I made the right decision. Because I've shared in recent segments of the Gig Geezer that I have been earning, at least the last couple of weeks, over $2,000. I'm actually in a position now this week for the third consecutive week to earn over $2,000. Last month I earned $8,917.31. So that's the second time I've reached that $8,000 to $9,000 a month corridor that I have shared both here on the Gig Geezer channel and privately. And I'm on pace already this month to reach $8,000. Remains to be seen because we're at the 6th of the month. But let's presume that I do that. That'll be the third time in 7 months in 2023. And so I am hitting the numbers that I had endeavored to make. But what makes my decision that much, what makes the justification of my decision that much more important is the fact that I have not secured a medical courier contract, or just a simple courier contract, or just a general contract one of those just general contracts in which you basically will be ultimately treated like an employee. That's one of the rabbit hole things about contracts. You'll find that the demands that they place on you will make you feel as if you're putting in 9 to 5, and the only difference is that they're not taking out taxes, or they're not contributing towards benefits for you. You're just at their beck and calling. But beyond that point, the pay. Many of these contracts, what they're offering doesn't compare to what I've been averaging a week, which has been over $1,700 a week thus far. Many of these contracts are not paying $8,000 to $10,000 a month. They're selling you on the potential of making $2,000, $2,500 a week. But when you start looking at the contract and the specifics of the pay schedules, there's no fucking way you're going to get there. And if you do get there, they're going to ask a lot out of you, a lot. So that said, many of these contracts again have not paid what I make on average a day, which is over $300 a day. If I were to, as a lot of folks suggested in the beginning, why don't you get on with a logistics company? Why don't you work for a carrier? And then you can gain experience, and you don't have to put out money towards insurance and authority and all, and you can still make money. And then also you're subject to them paying you whenever they say that they're going to pay you. Whereas what I've shared, hey, when I drop a load, with the few brokered opportunities that I've had, I am able to go to the factoring company that I deal with, put in for that, invoice them to be paid, and I normally see that money the next business day, at worst 2 business days later. So that's been a plus. I've not chased down that rabbit hole. Not to mention, as I've said so many times, I'm home every night as opposed to being out there 1, 2, 3 weeks at a time. And when you're out, the longer you're out, that means either you're trying to chase the money, or it could be a case of them trying to find you a way of getting back, but also making them money. You're making money, but you're also making them money in the process. So there's a lot of things that's not said about over the road. There's the sexy thing about being on the road. You're making all the money that you can make, $2,000-$3,000 a week. You're driving, you're seeing many places. Like, hey, I could say I'm Latour, South Carolina. I mean, I'm up here in the northeast sector nearby the North Carolina border. I'm in a very rural area. I've been up this way multiple times. But the fact is that, hey, I'm seeing a part of South Carolina that I've not seen in about 6-7 years. That said, I'm not dealing with what I feel is the uncertainty. And I've talked about contracts in terms of them paying you and not paying you. I've talked about how you may lose a contract based on performance, or based on them looking to pay less. And there's always somebody willing to take it for less. So those are just realities that I believe have just more than justified why I believe I've made the right choice with investing in a Sprinter/cargo van, but also the path that I've taken thus far. Okay, I decided to throw in some extra coverage here, and I'm in the parking lot of PDQ. It is evening rush hour. I put in a long day today, a very full day today. I left Columbia about 8 o'clock this morning to head to Sumter. I had to be at the Curry pickup at 9 o'clock. And it is 5:15 now. And by the time I get finished with this, it should be about 6 o'clock. So I put in 10 hours today. But I've made $645. That's not a bad fucking day, averaging over $60 an hour in 10 hours of work. And having put in terms of miles, about 375 miles today. That is still a pretty damn good ratio, given, in fact, it's over $1.50 a mile in terms of earnings to miles ratio for all that I've done today. So can't complain. I'm at over $1,550, and it's Thursday, and I've put in so far 3.5 days so far this week. I'm in position mathematically to reach $2,000 for the third consecutive week. and I'm definitely on pace to, at least I'm tracking at this juncture as of today, to do $8,000 or more this month. That remains to be seen, as I've mentioned earlier. There's not much else for me to say in terms of, I could come up with 5 more reasons why I believe that I made the right decision of investing into a Sprinter / cargo van. But you could say days like this, weeks that I've had recently, and just really the body of work really suggests that I've made the right decision. And I didn't even talk about, and again, I'm going to stress again, coming from the gig food delivery background and even the rideshare background, there are peaks and valleys throughout the course of a year in terms of when it's busy and when it's not. But one thing that has been consistent so far in 2023 is how drivers are talking about how the opportunities, at least on the gig food delivery side, have begun to dry up at a faster rate. Part of that, again, is because of the hypersaturation of drivers. And the other reason is that because people are not spending on the gig food delivery apps as they did in 2020 and 2021. So therefore, you've got more crows chomping on the corn. That thins it out, and so therefore you're not going to see the same opportunities. And again, because people are not paying a premium for food to be delivered to them, you're not going to see the same tip ratio. Just for whatever it's worth. And if you could see here on this particular, as you see here on these particular examples, if you notice, my tip ratio, at least on the DoorDash app, is roughly 60 to 70% at a minimum of what I make, and that's good. That's really what you want. I've seen a content creator saying he was happy with the 1-to-1 ratio tips to DoorDash money, and I believe that's the wrong direction you want to go. You want to see more tip money, way more tip money than you see DoorDash money. You see more DoorDash money, that means you're doing you're doing what Tony's You really wants you to do, and that's to take those shit orders. That's just my opinion. Well, that's all I have to share for this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment or any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.